the home of the do-it-yourself trucker. When everything goes wrong, you got a Redneckanize. All right, great deal. Hey, appreciate everybody. Welcome back. And like I said, this is Redneckanize, all things trucking and then some. Give us a call at 516-387-1733. To be part of the conversation, just hit 1. So one of the things that I like to stress out about, and it's kind of like, you know, we want to go in depth as much as we can, but we really don't have that much time, and we really don't know everybody's individual story. And I think that's the one thing we have to get is it's individual stories that people need to understand. Your situations are different. So when you think about becoming an owner operator, it's all about your situation. So it's all about what do you, or why are you considering to be an owner operator? And first and foremost is if that lease purchase is looking good to you as an owner operator, you should ask yourself why. And it's kind of like making a list, pros and cons. You know, a pro for lease purchase is it's a brand new truck. In most cases, not all cases are like that, but in most cases, it's a brand new truck. Secondly, it's a carrier that you probably already worked for. So you know the ins and outs of the carrier most likely. And again, I want to stress that you may not know everything there is to know about that carrier, but most likely you might know most of everything. Because in my experience and other people's experience that I've heard of, it's when you go into a carrier, and we're all talking about like the bigger carriers that have lease purchase, you're a company driver, and you might be a company driver 6 months, a year and a half, 2 years, all depend on, and you might have prior experience, all depends. But then what it is that you begin trusting everyone around you, especially if you're a new driver. If you're a new driver coming in to a larger carrier and you worked you went through the training program, you started solo and now you're over the road and everything's going great and you're doing good. You're running miles, you're making money, and everybody that you talk to is telling you doing a great job. You know, you're doing a great job. That was good. What you did was good. You called the right person. You were right not to call those people. You were right to make sure that you called that people. You were right to let us know about this, all that stuff. And you get these pats on the back and you start feeling great. And you start trusting these people. You start trusting the dispatcher, driver manager, fleet manager, terminal managers, whatever it is. You get into some kind of rhythm to where everybody loves you. And then when you start getting more and more experience and you haul more and more time sensitive freight or customer service sensitive freight, and you come through with those, then you get more pats on the back and you start meeting the salesman, or you'll meet the customer service representatives, and everybody says you're doing a great job, and you start trusting these people because they say do this, do that, and then you do it, and you don't get treated wrong. You're getting treated really well. They take care of you. They may pay you detention time. They pay you some kind of layover. They pay you breakdown, or they pay you the good stuff that you always liked, and you were taken care of, and you trusted these people. Well, the people that you trusted here now for the last 6 months, a year, 2 years, maybe even, well, now they're telling you, what might be a good idea for you is lease purchase. Well, you trust these people and you don't really know that much about lease purchase, and you're asking questions, and all these people that patted you on the back and told you were doing a great job, and they work for this carrier and you work for the same carrier, and they're all telling you should be an owner operator. You should do lease purchase. It's a good program. You'll make money. We'll treat you right. And you trust these people because they treated you right. There's no reason for you not to trust them. And I'm going to tell you, be careful, because they're not owner operators. They're customer service reps. They're driver managers. They're fleet managers. They're not truck drivers. Okay. They may have trucking experience. And what you want to do is you want to get these people alone, or, somehow in their mood where they're going to try to level with you, because they're probably told. I was in the office. I got told this tons and tons of time. We got to sell these trucks. These trucks are sitting, and we got to get drivers in them. So if the driver wants you need to help them. And it's kind of like, don't talk to the driver about the lease purchase. You tell them, what might be a good idea? Lease purchase. Or if they ask you, hey, driver calls it, the driver manager or fleet manager or dispatcher or whatever. Hey, I'm thinking about becoming lease purchase. Hey, that sounds like a great idea. You should go talk to this guy. And that's the first thing they tell you is go talk to that guy over there. Talk to that guy. And that is the owner operator recruiter or owner operator salesman. Those are the ones that have the details. Well, that's where he's a salesman. He's going to give you the details, and they're going to break it all down for you. And you know what? Some of it just doesn't look that bad. It doesn't look that bad. It's like, this might actually work. And you gotta, I'm going to say this. You cannot base everything off of their paperwork, what they tell you. You've got to do your own research. What they're going to do is they'll give you like scenarios, and like this driver drove this many miles a week for so many months, and this was the price of fuel, and this was the price of the fuel surcharge, this is how much the driver made, and all that stuff. And they'll give you all those scenarios. What you got to do is you've got to get the ins and outs and then do another 6 months of research. And I mean, like, run your truck, the company truck you're in, as you would be an owner operator. And what I mean is you take the freight, you research the rates of that freight, or you find, if I'm going to be an owner operator lease purchase with this carrier, what is the pay for that load? And you get the scale, whatever the pay scale is for an owner operator, you get that information and you find that out. And then you run your truck and you do all the paperwork and all the calculations on what if you were the owner operator running that truck, how much money would you make? And that's what you do. You lay it all out, and you get your rate per mile, your fuel cost per mile, all that stuff down to a T. And you do it, and the company driver, you do it for at least 6 months, hopefully more, before you decide whether or not you're going to be an owner operator, especially lease purchase. Because then what it boils down to is a lot of these carriers, now they say the system isn't created that way. And they say we don't treat owner operators any different. There's a lot of carriers that try to put a premium on their owner operator, like they're going to treat them better. And in some cases that might be good, but in other cases it's bad, because even though you might get treated better, there's still some scenarios where you're not going to get reimbursed for those things that go wrong. There's no, that's what you got to find out too. Some carriers are paying detention time to their owner operators. Some carriers are paying breakdown pay to their owner operators, or they're paying, and that's what it's all different now. As an owner operator, it's different. It's all different now. So you got to watch out for that. And that's one of the things that we stress is that when you look at becoming an owner operator, you got to ask yourself, why am I choosing to do this? And then you do the research and you find out. Okay. Now let's talk about a few things about why. Okay. So you want to be an owner operator and you're going to do lease purchase, and you're going to ask yourself, why do I need to do the lease purchase? Why can't I do something else? Why can't I go buy my own truck? And so the first thing is, well, I don't have any money. Okay, so you don't have any money to go pay cash for a truck, but let's go finance your own truck. Let's go to a dealership and go get a used truck on your own. Can you do that? Well, no, I don't have good credit. Okay, well, there's your first problem. As a business owner, that's important. Okay, because if you're going to want to grow a business and you're going to want to maybe make some additional changes to the truck, maybe the truck has a huge breakdown that doesn't get covered, and you got to spend the money, and you have to borrow that money to fix it. I mean, if you don't have any money put back to pay cash for a used truck, then you certainly don't have enough cash put back to pay for maintenance on a new truck. And all that. Well, and then your question is going to answer like this. They're going to say, well, they take so much money out for maintenance and they take care of the maintenance and they just deduct it out of my settlement. Okay. That's a slippery slope. It is. It's a big time slippery slope. You got to watch out for that stuff. It'll snowball on you. And what'll happen is you won't be able to make the miles up for what you owe the settlement on. And then you'll be negative. And then, so one settlement will come in and you still owe money. So then the next week comes in and it's not as big as you thought it would be, or, you don't know. And that's another thing is that, when you run, you want to keep, you want to know, am I going to get paid? And that's a lot of scenarios come into where they may put up the money, but then they're going to take it back, and they're going to take it back maybe in payments, or they're going to take it back in a lump sum, and it'll put you down negative. And then it's hard to keep track. And then next thing you know, and something else happens and you're still trying to recover from the first time. And then while all this is happening, well, you've got other bills that you can't pay because you've been negative because you had to borrow money from the carrier to pay for your maintenance situation. So it's a big time. Having money put back is very, very important to being an owner operator, even as a lease purchase. And so I would say to anybody out there thinking about becoming a lease purchase owner operator is, if you're unable to buy the truck on your own or go to the dealership and buy the new truck on your own, if you can't get financed or anything like that because your credit is bad, or you don't have any money put back and you can't pay cash, my advice is take the next year or two and work on that. Pay the debt off, get your credit built up, or save money, put back, and have money in the bank. That's my biggest advice. And so that's what I'll say to that, is that if you want to be able to keep that truck, and a lot of times that's the whole desire, is to keep that truck and run that truck and make that truck your baby and keep it for 10 years, and then always have it worked on, and you're taking care of it. And a lot of times as a lease purchase, especially, it never lasts that long. It never does, because the truck will always go wrong and the drivers don't have the money to take care of that truck when it goes bad. So that's just, that's just the hard reality of it. So yeah, there's a couple other things I'd like to talk about on that stuff, and we'll just keep on rolling here and everything. But yeah, just check us out, redneckanize.com. And like I said, don't forget to check out our sponsors. We got another great sponsor, and that's Load to Ride Transportation. Load to Ride Transportation, a great trucking company out of Denver, Colorado, and they do great things. They've been helping us out, and it's been great. They've got really nice trucks. They treat their drivers well, and I love their logo, and everything's great on that. Those guys really take care of people, and we love checking them out. So you can check them out at ltrtransportation.com, and you can look at all their stuff they got going. They run different kinds of freight, and they do a lot of the like just logistics. They've got warehousing and all that stuff, and of course they've got the driver recruiting and everything. And you can give them a call at 720-277-0030, and that's Load to Ride Transportation, ltrtransportation.com. Check them out, and we appreciate them. So yeah, we're just kicking back. Give us a call, 516-387-1733. Be part of the conversation. Just hit 1, and we appreciate everything you guys are doing. And like I said, just stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few minutes, and we appreciate everybody doing everything.